Welcome to Snacks Weekly on Data Science. This podcast is all about making data science and machine learning knowledge accessible and less intimidating. Today, we are going to talk about customer lifetime value. This episode is based on a tech blog titled How Airbnb Measures Listing Lifetime Value, written by their data science team. You can find their blog link in this episode's description. Throughout this episode, we will explore this topic from both the business and data science angles. Now, let's dive in. On the business side, let's take a look at the problem to be solved. Airbnb is a global online marketplace that connects hosts who list homes or rooms with guests looking for short-term stays. Today, Airbnb operates in more than 200 countries and regions, supports millions of active listings, and generates revenue by taking a percentage of each booking. At its core, Airbnb is a two-sided marketplace, and the health of the business depends on both guests and hosts staying engaged over time. This tech blog focuses on the supply side of the marketplace, specifically the Airbnb listings. From a business perspective, not all listings are created equal. Some hosts list a property once and then disappear. Others stay active for years, generating steady bookings and contribute significant revenue over time. That's where listing lifetime value comes in. Airbnb uses listing lifetime value to answer some very practical business questions. For example, how valuable it is to acquire a new host in a specific city. How much should the company invest in host onboarding, incentives, or education? And how should they prioritize product improvements that help hosts stay active longer? The challenge here is that listing time value isn't something you can directly observe. When a listing is created, you don't know how long it will stay active or how much total revenue it would generate. Many listings are still active today, meaning their lifetime hasn't ended yet. On top of that, the performance varies dramatically by location, seasonality, and host behavior. So now, the business problem is clear. Airbnb needs a reliable, forward-looking way to estimate the long-term value of a listing, even when the listing is still active and its future is uncertain. That's what motivates the technical work we are going to talk about next. Now that we've understood the business problem, let's shift gear and dive into the technical side to see how the team tackled this challenge. The team didn't build a single monolithic model for this part, but it designed a three-layered framework to measure listing lifetime value. These layers are baseline lifetime value, incremental lifetime value, and marketing-induced incremental lifetime value. Each layer answers a slightly different question, and together they form a complete picture. Let's start with the first layer, which is the baseline lifetime value. Before you can estimate the lifetime value itself, we usually need to define what lifetime means. In this framework, the team defines it as the total number of bookings a listing is expected to receive over the next 365 days. Here is how it works. The team takes a snapshot of a listing at a specific point in time. Let's call it time t. At that moment, they look at everything they know about this listing: its price, location, how long the host has been on the platform, how open the calendar is, and many other attributes. Using this information, the team trained a machine learning model to predict how many bookings that listing will receive over the next year. The model they choose there is light GBM. The reason this model works well is that geography plays a huge role in travel, and light GBM is particularly good at handling high cardinality features. In other words, features with many unique values, like cities, neighborhoods, and zip code. This became especially important during periods like the pandemic, when travel behavior changed rapidly and the model needed to remain robust under shifting conditions. After knowing the model to calculate this baseline time value, this number represents the value a listing would generate without any specific intervention. It serves as a stable reference point for everything that comes next. Now, let's move to the second layer of the problem, incremental lifetime value. A listing might have a high baseline lifetime value, but that doesn't automatically mean it creates new value for Airbnb as a platform. In some cases, a new listing may simply divert bookings away from other existing listings. From a business perspective, that kind of value isn't truly incremental. To address this problem, the team models incrementality using what they call a production function, which captures the relationship between supply and demand. Think of it in this way. If a neighborhood has 100 guests searching for places to stay, but only 5 listings, adding a 6th listing creates real incremental value. It helps capture demand that might otherwise go to hotels or competitors. But if you have only 10 guests and 100 listings, adding an extra listing wouldn't create new demand. It just spreads the same demand more thinly. The team models this by grouping listings into relatively independent segments, such as luxury villas in Bali versus budget studios in Berlin. By analyzing historical supply and demand dynamics within these segments, they can estimate how many new bookings a specific type of listing actually adds to the platform. Finally, we get to the third layer, marketing-induced incremental lifetime value. This layer was created to handle the uncertainty the team experienced during the pandemic. When they began updating lifetime value estimates, as listings received more or fewer bookings than initially expected. This approach helped capture shocks that occur after the initial predictions are made. Once the model is in production, the results are refreshed on a daily basis. Predicting value over a 1-year period horizon involves a lot of uncertainty. If a listing is predicted to receive 20 bookings in a year, but already getting 15 in the first month, the estimate should change. The team's system updates expected lifetime values every day based on actual performance, allowing predictions and reality to gradually converge. This makes the framework responsive to sudden market changes and more useful for real-time decision-making. Now that we've discussed both the business problem and the technical solution, let's wrap it up. In this episode, we explored how Airbnb measures listing lifetime value by separating it into baseline lifetime value, incremental lifetime value, and marketing-induced incremental lifetime value, and how this framework helps address challenges like measuring true incrementality and handling uncertainties about the future. And it shows how this framework can help address challenges like measuring true incrementality and handling uncertainties about the future. If you like the content of this episode, please subscribe to the channel. give me a 5-star review, and leave a comment. Your feedback is very appreciated, and I'll see you next week.